Hey everyone, it's Eric Snell, the author of the Fit Businessman book. And today we're going to talk about office snacks. That's right. You know, when you have long days and you have to adjust your lunch hour, you have to adjust your coffee breaks. Sometimes you need to stay longer at work. You never know what happens. And during the course of the day, of course, you're going to get hungry. And there's got to be some kind of plan B if you want to survive and not fall for the temptation of chocolate and other goodies that just pop up, because at some point at work you're going to be so stressed that you don't really care what you eat. You just grab the first thing you see, and the odds are it's not going to be that healthy. Now, of course, if the world would be perfect, then we would have a lot of time. We would prepare a nice snack in the morning or even the day before and pack balanced snacks and meals to work. And we could easily eat, every 4 hours, make sure we have enough nutrients, have all the macronutrients we want, the micronutrients we want, and we will be in perfect shape, feel great. But that doesn't really happen in the real world. And that's why I do these videos, so you can get a realistic view in how can you really tackle these issues, how can you maintain your body weight, and how can you build muscle, lose fat while working a regular desk job and still have time with your family and have a normal life. So, of course, if you want to eat tuna from the can in the middle of the day, you want to be normal as well, right? You don't want to be, you want to be discreet. So when we have a full day of work, we got to figure out, okay, how can we plan for these emergency situations that occur quite often, actually, that you have to stay in the office and you have to eat something. Well, the first thing is that in the morning, before even going to work, we need to make sure we get a good breakfast in. And that's something that's sort of the key, the foundation for the whole day. I do believe that you can do a good breakfast, and you should. If you don't have time for it, that means you're waking up too late. That's all. If you don't have time during the day to eat different foods, I understand it a little bit more. But in the morning, there's always time. You just have to make it. You just set an alarm clock if you want. But in the morning, sort of, you make sure you have a good foundation. Okay, so that will help you survive 3 to 4 hours with no cravings. When lunchtime rolls around, that's when you get these questions. Okay, join us for this, join us for that. Just grab something quick to eat. You don't have time to go to the canteen. If you have a canteen, you're quite unsure what the hell they put in the sauce, and you don't know how many calories there is in anything. So there's 2 pieces of advice here I could give during the lunch. One is my grandma's old technique. And what she did was she always ate half of anything. You give her a plate of lasagna, she would eat half. Next time, you would just put half of the lasagna on the plate, she would eat a quarter. She would just eat half of it. And that's amazingly simple and great advice when you're just grabbing something, even if it's pizza, even if it's a burger. During lunch, you go somewhere, you get something, well, you share it with someone else. Very simple and economical. And that way, you're sure at least you don't do too much damage. Because at the end of the day, it's still about the calories. Did you eat too many calories, too little calories? And of course, as athletes or athletic workers, we try to maintain quite a high protein intake, but in the end of the day, it's still the calories that will determine if you gain weight or lose weight. So taking half, that's really maybe the easiest way to make sure that you don't mess it up during the lunch. You had a good breakfast, you had your protein, you had your fruits, you had your carbs, perfect. Okay, so the lunch, sometimes we don't have time for that, right? So you're gonna have, in an international company, you're gonna have people around the world booking important meetings right at the noon break. Can't help it. You have no choice. You have to go to these meetings, and the only thing available usually is coffee, tea, and of course, during the course of the day, you have to make sure as well that you have energy. And shying away from carbohydrates during the day or during the lunch is not maybe the best thing to do, because you need energy as well. If you want to perform, whether it's in the gym or in the office, you got to feel good. And if you're low on energy, that means people are going to notice it. Your work performance is going to be worse. And even if you don't notice it, everyone else will notice it. And they will notice that maybe you're a bit moody, it looks like you're depressed, looks like you're tired, but you necessarily don't notice it. But you can bet that everyone else notices it. So we still need to have everything included in our meals and not just shy away from different ingredients. Now, during this time, if you don't have lunch and we go over to the afternoon, you're gonna have to eat something. And sometimes at work you have fruit baskets. Is it a good idea to eat fruit? Well, I think fruits are always healthy, and I wouldn't be too concerned about sucralose or the sugar content of fruit. There's so many benefits of it. You know, you're gonna burn off that sugar anyways. Don't even think about it. Of course, we have different calories in different fruits. So, for instance, a banana has a lot of calories in it. So, if you're trying to have a calorie deficit, you need to take that into account. Otherwise, why not? The only thing missing really is then the protein in a lot of the fruit. And a lot of fruits have a lot of water in them, which is very good for hydration. But the protein intake is a little bit less. I don't know really any fruit that has much of a protein. So if you want to add protein, you can use BCAA tablets. That's maybe the easiest way to do it. And here the leucine content is, as usual, the most important. Now, for myself, I don't usually have fruits that, I don't take a banana and an orange with me to work. Already an orange is a bit of a hassle to eat, just because of the way you have to process it before you eat it, right? So a banana, yeah, that's kind of convenient, right? Maybe grapes, that's convenient. Maybe not. I don't really see it as that convenient. For me, these protein bars that they sell, the taste is getting better every year. And what I do is I always have a stash of protein bars in my office drawer. And I don't think they're healthy. I think it's a better alternative to just a regular chocolate bar, a regular Twix or Snickers. The taste is just as good, in my opinion. And the protein that's in these bars, I would guess that the quality is the lowest, the cheapest and the lowest. And is it really a big difference? Well, I think if you would do like they did in the old days and just have an egg with you and you eat that, and the protein that you would have in that egg, that would be much better. So if you're really serious about training and maintaining muscle mass and burning fat, of course you should have packed your food with you. And of course, you wouldn't even think about buying protein bars and all these bars that contain polyols and try to tell that is trying to package it like it's healthy when we all know it's not. But when reality sets in, you don't have time, you need to get something, and you look around and the only thing you have is chocolate or some cake that someone in the office brought because it was their birthday or whatever, then it's better to have something where something that contains protein, that's one thing, but also where you know the calorie content. So if you think in the evening that, okay, what did I eat today? Okay, I had a pizza slice during lunch, I had a protein bar, I had the usual breakfast, then you know how much you've been eating that day. So in the evening, it's easy for you to regulate and say, well, actually, it looks like I'm a bit short. I need to make sure I eat a bit more in the evening. So before you go to bed, you can adjust accordingly. But during the day, the idea of the snack is really just to take away the feeling of cravings and also make sure that you can actually be good at work and have the energy to perform. So yeah, if I would of course suggest that you would eat almonds and not dried fruit but real fruit and maybe yogurt, but that again that requires a fridge. So if you're gonna eat yogurt, you're gonna have to keep it somewhere cold. So yeah, you could have a bag that keeps the temperature, and I try that once in a while to have like a bag with me so I could pack it. And that's really something that's really convenient if you go on a really strict diet. But for everyday living, for avoiding having this preparation time in the evenings, I think it's easier to buy these processed protein bars and keep them in the drawer just in case. If you don't eat them, you don't eat them, but at least you have something you can go to. And you don't even have to eat. You can eat half of one. Maybe that's enough for you to just satisfy you, just give you enough energy. I think it's a hassle if you have to have a protein shake with you and have a shaker with you, and it's not convenient at all. Now I also like these puddings. So it's a protein pudding that I think they're marketing it wrong. I think it should be called chocolate soft ice, because that's what it tastes like. It's amazing. Some of these companies really had advanced tastes. They just make it so amazing that you really think you're eating something with much higher calories, much more sugar than usual. But the pudding, that also requires some kind of fridge to keep it cold. So I wouldn't go that far either. Now you have the option, of course, to not eat anything. But I think you should avoid being hungry and you should avoid having low energy because it's about performance at work. So this is sort of, I wouldn't give you the advice to eat protein bars, but I will give you the advice to be prepared. Just like you've seen the video with me and the Plan B meals, that when you get hungry in the evening, you better have a Plan B. Well, the same goes for office snacks. Just get you some. There's a lot of different ones, a lot of different flavors, and I think that every year there's new brands coming out with less sugar, less fat, less carbs, less of anything. And you just gotta try them out, figure out what works for you, and eat in moderation. But just to have this backup, it's a really good idea. It has helped me at least. And yeah, so next time when you go to a nutrition store, try different flavors, bring some to your office, and let me know how it works out for you. I'm Eric Snell, the author of the Fit Businessman book, and I'll see you at work.